We are now open for business. This is 𝗕𝗏𝗏 bringing you yet another episode to guide you in discovering your passion and growing your business as we learn from experts in the field. Sama-sama tayong matuto sa isa na namang makabuluhang usapan tungo sa pagpapaunlad ng inyong negosyo. Ang Open for Business ay mapapanood nyo rin sa Facebook at YouTube. Siguraduhin mag-like at mag-subscribe sa aming social media page at Net25TV. Alamin natin, suriin mula sa mga negosyante, thought leaders at mga personalidad sa iba't ibang larangan ang mga strategies, trends at mahalagang karanasan sa pagninegosyo dahil tayo ay open for business. In a world of banks that compete for profit, there is one created from a mission standing strong for over 60 years. The Philippine Veterans Bank, through Miguel Angelo Villareal, first Vice President for Marketing and Communications and Consumer Protection Group, tells us about the legacy and what the future holds for the bank in the digital age.
When you bank with Philippine Veterans Bank, you're doing something for a purpose. You're not just banking for yourself or for the people who own the bank. You're actually helping the descendants whose families or ancestors already helped free our country.
I'm 𝗗𝗲𝗏𝗏 bringing you business news and information here on Open for Business. December inflation is expected to settle at 1.2 to 2%, below the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas 2 to 4% target, according to the central bank. The BSP noted that upward price pressures may come from increased prices of major food items brought about by the continuing effects of adverse weather and strong holiday demand, coupled with increase in LPG and gasoline prices. However, the BSP added that pressures could be partly offset by lower electricity prices in Meralco-serviced areas. Now, in other business news, the country's merchandise exports surged by 21.3% in November to $6.9 billion, backed by strong performance from the electronics sector, the Department of Trade and Industry, also known as DTI, said. For the January to November 2025 period, exports rose by 14.5%. to $77.4 billion, far exceeding the $73.27 billion total for the whole of 2024. The DTI said the stronger performance of exports helped narrow the trade deficit by 9.9%. Now, still with DTI, the department said it will hold business matching meetings in 2026 in an effort to boost investments to the country as it leverages the Philippines' chairmanship of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, also known as ASEAN. Trade Secretary Cristina Roque said that the creative economy, women-led businesses, and micro, small, and medium enterprises, also known as MSMEs, as well as digitalization and artificial intelligence initiatives will be highlighted during the meetings. The country's international investment position, or IIP, has improved with net liability narrower by 13.2%. at $58 billion as of end September than the $67 billion recorded in end June 2025, according to the BSP. Now, according to the central bank, the lower net liability position reflects higher external assets and lower foreign obligations. The IIP measures the economy's external exposure as it shows the country's foreign financial assets and liabilities. And that's the business roundup for this week. I'm 𝗗𝗏𝗏 for Open for Business.
Global Us visited a very special tree, quite possibly the oldest on the planet, but one that's also endangered. Plus, we talked to former Greenpeace director 𝗏𝗏𝗏 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Can we phase out coal, oil and gas to at least slow down global warming?
Global Us. ang bawat pagkain siguradong may kwento. Lalo na ang mga ipinamana pa at inabot na ng dekada-dekada. Namnamin ang lasa ng mga pagkaing may nakabubusog na kwento. Isa-serve na ang Savoring Stories sa LTE. Love, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. sa Net25.
On your way to success? Start with the best. New Era University, where we guide every individual to their natural state of excellence. Enroll now, because New Era University awaits the future we can build together.
Sa kasulukuyang henerasyon, marami na ang nag-viral. Dahil po yan sa kanilang ginagawang pagtulong sa kapwa. Pero mas marami ang tumutulong kahit walang nakakakita. Kaya naman kung ikaw ay may kilala na grupo o individual na may natatanging pagresponde sa lipunan at maging sa kalikasan, mag-text lamang sa 0915-415-1035 o mag-email sa responde@net25.com at magpadala ng mensahe sa ating Facebook page at Net25TV. Baka kayo na ang susunod nating Certified Key Responder.
Let's net together sa Net25. Sa Net25.
Our topic tonight is far from the usual. We have one of the most unique financial institutions in the country. One that many Filipinos may have heard of, but few truly understand. Philippine Veterans Bank was not built from capital investors. It was built from war reparations established by law to serve the brave men and women who protected our nation. As it expands its mandate to serve a new generation of heroes, how does a legacy institution transform in the digital age while honoring its past? To walk us through this extraordinary story and the bank's evolving mission, we are joined by Miguel Angelo Villareal, First Vice President and Head of Marketing Communications and Consumer Protection of Philippine Veterans Bank. How are you, Mike?
Hi, sir. Salamat po for having me here.
When you launched the branch, which is just in front of the Net25
Yes.
compound, it was very successful. How is opening a bank right in front of a TV station?
We've done it before, so it's nothing new to us. But we're
That's
excited
great.
to be here in this community, and we hope we can help out the people in this neighborhood, of course, the employees here at Eagle Broadcasting and all the other affiliates here in this area, and of course the broader community in their financial services. We're one of the banks that has the most friendly in terms of opening deposit accounts. So yeah, we hope to have everybody there with us.
Yeah, that's great to know, Mike. Now, during my intro, somehow this is very unique because it was established, it was formed based on the operating word there is reparations.
Yeah.
When you say reparations, what exactly is reparations? Can you explain, a brief history?
Sure. When you say reparations in the context of war reparations, well, it was after the war. So World War II had just ended, and of course, Japan ravaged the Philippines practically. And the Philippines, they say, was one of the worst devastated countries after World War II. In fact, Manila was the second most devastated city in the world. The first one was Warsaw, Poland. Estimated 14 million Filipinos at that time. 1 million died. So that's one of every 14 Filipino died. So it's a very tragic 3.5-year period, and I'd say it's one of the darkest periods. So the reparations comes in because the world, like Germany did for the European nations, gave reparations, meaning this is my way of making amends. So Japan gave about $20 million, and that time that was a big amount of money in cash and in kind to the Philippines. At that time, the Philippines was just a fledgling independent country. We just started our independence in 1946. So Congress at that time thought that, well, this was the early 50s already. Instead of giving the cash to the veterans because it was meant to be given to the veterans. Those who are still alive, the widows and the orphans, those are the people that government wanted to give a portion of the cash reparations. And you have to remember that this was not any ordinary war. This was World War. So out of the 500,000 veterans, actually just 10% were career soldiers. 90% were, farmers, fisher folk, carpenters, workers, drivers, who just wanted to do something for their country. So after the war, they went back to their livelihoods. Government at that time thought that if we give all the money to the veterans, parang sayang naman, this is just a one-time thing. So they thought, why not invest it in a trust fund, which eventually became the capital for Philippine Veterans Bank. And the bank mission is to earn revenue so that a portion of that revenue can be given to the veterans. The way they structured it was that about 384,000 World War II veterans will be the stockholders. Automatically, they'll be given shares of stock. Yeah.
I see.
So they become the owners of the bank. So the bank was created by law, but since they turned over the bank to the veterans, it's a private. Nobody went to the SEC and signed up or applied for a bank license or to the BSP. It was created by law. So that's we're probably the only bank, I think, that has that kind of history.
Pero now, there's new developments already. What I mean is that it's now under SEC or under the usual. Now, but initially, when it was formed, it wasn't like that.
Yes.
I see.
So under the new charter, we're supposed to follow, of course, the central bank, the SEC, of course, the other regulatory bodies, PDIC, the Philippine Deposit Insurance, and of course, BIR, and all those other regulatory bodies. We follow all that. And we had our charter reviewed because, it's been almost 50 years since the charter was written. And this allowed for the expansion of the capital because, as you know, banks need to have a healthy capital in order for it to operate within this particular regime. Now, when I say regime, banks should be, in other words, well capitalized. If I remember my history correctly, a portion of the war reparations went to the infrastructure repair of the damages of the war. Another portion went to the victims, meaning the veterans and the surviving families. So a portion of supposed to be for the veterans' families was given to them in cash. I think 100 pesos at the time. That was big already at that time. And then another portion, I don't remember the exact figure, I think 20 million pesos, used to form the capital of Philippine Veterans Bank. The legislators at that time thought that instead of giving all the cash right away one time, let's have a fund that will give back to the veterans annually. So it's regular. So it's not just, kumbaga, as time goes by, the bank will give more benefits to the veterans. So that was the concept behind the Philippine Veterans Bank.
And Mike, that was already initiative of the Philippine government or maybe the president or the Congress during that time. Do you remember who was the president then?
1953, so it was Quirino, but it was signed into law 1963, so it was Mapapanood's time when it was signed, Republic Act 3518. Yeah.
Why is it important for the country to maintain a bank specifically for veterans? There's a context here also. There's about 960 World War II veterans now who remain alive as of recent estimates, and the average age is over 90 years old. So, bakit ganun ka-importante na meron tayong bangko na ganito para sa mga veterano natin?
Yung banko is owned by the veterans. So they're not necessarily, well, they are our clients, but not necessarily they are our only clients. And that's one of the misnomers we have at the Philippine Veterans Bank. Going to your question, well, the veterans defended our country. Without them, we wouldn't be who we are today. And we owe our independence, we owe our freedom to them. So that was one of the reasons why Congress decided to create this bank, so that we'll be, kumbaga, the country is indebted to these people and, of course, their families. So this is our way of paying back, at least in some way, to these people who defended our country. And many of them actually died in the process. They are heroes. So that's the only way we can pay them back, at least give something back to the families and to their descendants. Actually, the latest figure I got is 545 living World War II veterans.
545?
Yeah, this is last week.
So meron pa.
Meron pa, yeah. So the oldest, if I'm not mistaken, is 112 years old. And the average is close to 100. So 100 yung average talaga. So konti na lang sila. And but in terms of clientele of the bank, We are actually just like any other commercial bank.
Basically, anybody, any Gen Z can go to
Oh,
your
yeah.
bank and open a bank account. Tama. So
That's correct.
the reason why it is just named after that is because, of course, the original mandate is that it's for the veterans. And
Yeah.
it is owned by the veterans themselves. Up to now ba?
Well, when you say up to now, it's now the third generation who owns the.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah,
andun pa rin
yeah.
yung kumbaga yung bloodline.
Yeah, because the original shares of stock cannot be sold to anybody. It has to be passed on to the next generation or to another shareholder. So kumbaga it stays within the family of World War II veterans. But those are the original stockholders.
Wow.
In 2021, we started capital raising and we were allowed by law to take in other investors apart from the veterans. We had private sector, we had the other veterans, which is Korean War, Vietnam War,
So mixed na
AFP.
siya?
Oh, mixed na siya.
Oh,
But
I
under
see.
the law, 51% should remain within veterans.
Oh, so sila pa rin. Kumbaga
Oo.
parang mix na siya but the majority is still
Dapat veterans pa
dapat
rin.
veteran.
Kung hindi veteran mismo, at least yung heir. Like ako, I'm a
Okay.
grandson of a veteran. So majority of the shareholders are actually children. And some of them are still like the AFP retirees
Oo.
are still there. We have a handful from the PhilCag or the Vietnam War and the Korean War. Yun na yung veteran sector ngayon. I think the law was changed a few years ago. Kasi pag sinabi mong veteran dati, World War II lang. But now the law has allowed that including those who served in the AFP can now be called veterans officially under the law.
So ang sinasabi mo, Sir Mike, parang like any Gen Z, for example, or any consumer,
Yeah.
bilang pag-alala, pagkilala,
Yeah.
pag-honor, to give tribute to the veterans and to our heroes, it's also good na you bank at the Philippine Veterans
Yes.
Bank because
Yes,
somehow
yeah.
there's emotional connection to it. It's something very historical.
Correct.
So, pero sinabi mo also, Sir Mike, that it is like a commercial bank. Whatever the services of a commercial bank, you have it as well.
Yes.
Can you expound more on that?
Well, we have the usual ATM deposits, online banking, housing loan. We're going to launch our car loan in a few days. Pension loan, of course, for the pensioners. We also have investment products, investment services, of course, corporate services, corporate loans, companies, SME loans. So the entire range of services.
So halimbawa, kayong karaniwan na gusto niya ng bahay, gusto niya ng
Yeah.
kotse, maglo-loan dyan, pwede yon, anything.
Pwede.
Diba?
Oo.
A company who wants to open
Yeah.
the corporate bank account, pwede yon. And
Correct.
especially individual savings account.
Yes.
Mga time deposits, pwede rin yon.
Anyone can come in.
We know that the current landscape in the banking sector is also very competitive,
Yeah.
diba? At syempre, alam mo, kung ako, mas maaga kong nalaman din yung, the history behind Philippine
Yeah.
Veterans Bank, it's something emotional, it's something very historical, it's
Yeah.
even nostalgic, diba? So I could have had opened earlier. How competitive is the banking industry now, and how do you position, the bank in a very, very competitive market?
Well, you're right. Actually, I'm the past president of the Bank Marketing Association of the Philippines. And the landscape is really very, very competitive, almost cutthroat. Kumbaga, the pie is very limited. And a lot of people can avail of the payroll services. But lending, investments, that's really where the limitation comes in. So we're thankful for the OFWs for contributing to the economy. But at the end of the day, almost all the banks have practically the same services at the core of it. So magkakaiba yan in several ways. One is the rates or the fees. How much are you paying for, let's say, a housing loan? How much interest and what will be the monthly amortization for, let's say, a 5 million loan in this bank and another bank? And then you also look at, if you're a depositor or you're an investor, how much money can I get back for my, let's say, 50,000 pesos? So it becomes a rate game. There are clients who are that kind, no? Who look for what's the best deal for me.
So while you offer the same products or solutions or
Yeah.
services, nag-iiba-iba yung rates.
Yes, more or less they're the same, but there's a range you can play with. So
Okay.
hanapin mo na yung best for you. So ganun yung
Kasi
normally.
minsan kahit na 0.02, 0.01 na ngayon,
Yeah.
pa rin yun, pera pa rin yun. Oh, go ahead,
Correct.
Sir Mike. Go
The
ahead.
other one is convenience. Ano yung malapit sa'yo? Kung let's say may bangko sa tabi ng bahay mo, that would be so convenient. You just walk to your
Yeah.
bank, or your place of work. The third one is service. I think that's where Veterans Bank shines. Our service is really top-notch. When I came in the bank about 20 plus years ago, this dates me, but the World War II veterans were still alive. And they already had, shall we say, senior challenges. No? Meaning, hirap na sila maglakad, hirap na sila mag-communicate, hirap na sila magsulat ng withdrawal slips. This was a time before the online banking. All of a sudden, the government increased their monthly pension to 5,000. So they were going to our branches. Parang kala mo may bank run sa Veterans Bank kasi ang daming tao sa labas.
Ano yung rate dati?
1,000 lang. And then they require na physical appearance by the government. Kasi alam nga naman, pag ATM, baka hindi siya buhay na, no? So anyway, so that trained our people. Siyempre, medyo senior na, medyo di nakakarinig, sisigawan ka, papagalitan ka nung matanda, masungit, gano'n. Pero yung mga tao namin, opo, lolo, tulungan ka namin magsulat. Susulat namin deposit slip for him. I-thumbmark nyo na lang, lolo. So, yung service na yun carried on until today. So, when you talk to a veteran banker at the branch, they will be smiling, they will be helping you out. So, it's not your typical bank. It more like feels like going into your neighbor's house. Parang ganun yung gusto naming service na ma-achieve. And that's, I think it's inherited because from 20 years ago until now, that's still something that we have. It's innate in the culture of our frontliners. I think that's the unique service that we have for clients who will come and visit us.
That's great to know, Mike. Pero baka isipin nila, pag veterans, senior senior moment, senior service din. In the context of what's happening now, na everything is digital, di ba?
Correct.
Most of the banks now, they have digital systems, the e-wallets. Ganun din ba ang veterans? How are you abreast, with the changes as far as digitalization? Lalo na naglabasan na ang digital commerce. So, syempre, I'm sure your team will also make sure that, you are at the forefront of digitalization.
Yeah, that's true. Well, admittedly, we were a bit late in the game, but we're catching up. We already have our own mobile app, and it's already at our, kumbaga, alpha stage. But we'll be launching our beta model that'll be more functional, meaning it can accept QR code payments, or, di ba, when you buy through your fishball vendor na may QR code, you can use our app to pay that person, that sort of thing. Of course, the app is there, so bills payment, transfer to another bank, inquire balances, it's all there. But we're moving towards investing, time deposits. You can also use your app to move your funds in your savings or current account to time deposits if that's something you like. And then we're also moving towards paperless na talaga, no more forms. It's not just the app itself, but also in our branches. We're undergoing what we call a business transformation right now. It's a transformation in terms of the customer experience. Meaning when they go to our branch, it will be at par with the best banks in the Philippines in terms of digitization. Service will be paperless. The people will feel that kumbaga, it's a one-stop shop for banking. All the other touch points will also have the same. But that's not just the customer-facing one. We're also doing changes inside.
Internally.
Because, you have to also change how can you serve them better if inside you remain the same. So you have to become better. So that's also ongoing. And you can talk to any veteran banker. They'll tell you, we're going through a lot of changes right now. From our management to the processes to the service level agreements. All these things are happening right now. And the main purpose is we want our customers to be satisfied, not just satisfied, but happy with our service across all touch points. So admittedly, naghahabol kami. We're in a mad rush to finish everything and make sure that you will feel already that we are at par with the best banks in the Philippines.
Wow, this is really exciting. And napakaganda pala ng timing ng guesting ni Sir Mike. Kasi with the education, that you are telling me now, it's really something admirable. And that's what people would also want to know. I think personally, it's my first time maybe to really know more about, Veterans Bank, and I'm so impressed. Somehow, it brings nostalgia. We remember our parents, our grandparents, the heroes, diba? At a very young age, diba? We are introduced already with the kind of heroism that Filipinos and our war veterans did for the country. With a decreasing number, it's also not just exclusive for veterans anymore, as you confirmed it, but you also accept deposits from government institutions like LGUs. How does that help available funds?
We're called an authorized government depository bank because it's in our charter or in the law. The bank is allowed to accept government deposits. The rationale is the owners are the veterans, they serve the country, so this is one way of paying back that they're allowed to receive government funds. So we are able to service, again, government-owned and controlled corporations, national government agencies, local governments from the province, city, municipal to the barangays. So those are, many of our clients are in that arena. Because of the services that we are able to give these large GOCCs and also even the smaller barangays, it's in a way helping the progress of the nation. Because when the veteran fought for his country, he's not thinking na I'm gonna just fight and then survive. I'm doing this because I want my country to become independent. And he's not looking just at the next day or two. He's looking at the future where the country is governed by Filipinos, progress in the countryside, progress equitable to all. Well, except that what's happening today, but that's besides the point. But something that they want to see that's what they're fighting for this country. So that's what we're doing. We're helping our government clients. Now, the revenues that we generate from them, again, help our cause. In the profits that we are able to generate from that business, we're able to give back to the veterans. So that's the formula. Actually, I think it appeals to the Gen Z because they're more the cost-oriented type of generation. I'm not just doing something to please myself, but in doing this thing, I'm also helping somebody else.
Yes.
So may pagkaganon yung mga Gen Z.
May purpose sila ngayon, may purpose. So, purpose-driven.
Yeah.
At saka parang they support specific advocacies and causes.
So parang that's one way of reaching out to that particular generation. But I think it has also worked with some of the older generations, the millennials and the Gen Xs.
Co-driving, being strapped into a car at events like the Dakar Rally with only a road book to guide you through the vast expanse of treacherous terrain. Navigating across sand, rocks and desert requires skill, focus and total commitment to the art of co-driving. Finding a way where none exists, carving a path and forging ahead no matter what. What drives people to pursue motorsport not from behind the wheel but instead as professional passengers?
You have to be awake and you have to be focused all the time, which is not always easy. You need to have some kind of luck to be able to win the Dakar. Without any luck, I think you can't do it.
May tiwala sa sarili at passionate.
Kaya kailangan nating mag-promote at ilabas sa merkado para makita nila ang mga gawa mo. At mabigyan to ng halaga ng tao. Nakapunta na ba kayo sa shop namin?
Pero may sweet side din. Subaybayan ang efforts ni Nico na buhayin ang kanyang probinsya at makahanap ng pag-ibig. Meet yourself. Simula January 5 na, 7:30 p.m. Dito lang sa Net25.
Let's get together. Sa Net25. Sa Net25.
Sa mata ng balita, una sa kaalaman, mga boses na mapagkakatiwalaan ng mamamayan.
Higit sa 100 milyong pisong halaga ng shabu ang nasapat sa isinagawang bypass operation sa lungsod ng Baguio.
Natakot naman at nalungkot ang mga negosyanteng Chinese-Filipino sa sinapit po ng businessman at ang driver nito na dinukot at pinaslang.
Ali Soto, Alex Santos, Mata ng Agila, Primetime. Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 6 ng gabi, dito lang sa Net25.
Let's get together. Sa Net25. Sa Net25.
This one is exciting. What are the biggest financial challenges and vulnerabilities that our aging veterans and military personnel face today?
The way I understand it, well, the veterans are already at their hundreds, so that's way beyond blessed. But some of them really have health issues. The retirees also need assistance, especially those who are retired at the lower ranks. Although the pension is quite generous, it's still difficult to live as a pensioner na walang, kumbaga, regular income. And then, dahil nga nalalapitan pa sila ng kamag-anak, etc. But anyway, the pensioners, the major challenges they have, of course, are health. Lalo na yung mga younger pensioners. Kasi the retirement for AFP is 56. So they're still young.
Oo.
I mean, you know, for some people, they're at the peak of their
Exactly.
their career.
Oo.
How
Kapag
do
sa
you...
AFP yun.
Yeah,
Oo.
AFP.
Pero are military personnel mandated also to open an account?
Ano naman,
With-
it's well,
It's still voluntary.
they have choices, but it has to be within the government banks and those that are affiliated with the AFP.
But it's an option. Like
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
assuming they already have a specific bank account in that one mandated by
Yeah,
them.
they have to open another one for their pension.
And it's their choice basta affiliated doon sa...
Yeah, parang doon na yung pension nila. And then they're young, so saan yung energy is? Let's say invest, or let's say find another source of income apart from their pension. So those are the things. I just talked to another TNBS, so we're looking at probably partnering with them na mag-create ng TNBS network. Yung mga ganun. Kasi sila yung, di ba, ang challenge ng TNBS is yung security, yung ganun. Eh, what if these are run by ex-military? So, secure yung mga riders, yung mga ano mo, yung mga
Exactly.
passengers mo. So, something like that. How can they, kumbaga, get the most out of their retirement fund and, of course, yung pension nila. Sadly, yun ang, marami pa rin silang needs at that time. Even if, let's say, the government subsidizes their medical or health needs. Siyempre, nag-rely pa rin sa kanila yung family nila, yung mga children. So, we still need to support them. So, yun ang, I think, for the retirees, yun ang challenge. For the veterans naman na older, I think they're okay. I was just in Congress the other day. It was passed at the committee level to increase the old age pension of veterans. So
To what?
the PVB old age pension is 5,000. So we're proposing to increase it to 10,000.
Wow.
So that's so yung mga ganun.
Alam mo, Mike, mas maganda na rin yan kesa sa kung saan-saan mapunta ang pera ng
Yeah,
bayan. Di
yeah,
ba? Parang
correct.
okay na sa atin yan. Sige,
Oo nga
taasan. At least mapupunta sa ating mga veterans at
Correct,
saka
correct.
ating mga heroes kesa
Tama.
mapunta sa alam na. Okay, you touched this earlier. You talked about digital banking, financial
Yeah.
inclusion. There are banks who target specific markets. Siyempre, kayo yung veterans, retirees, pero the other banks would also think of OFWs. May
Yeah.
mga ganong approaches din ba kayo, Mike, na you look at specific sectors of the society and offer them something? Like, say, for example, there's special package or new products and services for MSMEs or cooperatives. May mga ganun din ba kayong iniisip in terms of providing that kind of financial inclusion?
Well, the first one is the AFP. They're active and retired personnel. So it becomes a natural market because we're a veterans bank. So that should be our natural clientele, no, so to speak. And then next is, since we are an authorized government depository, the employees of these LGUs, GOCCs, these salaried workers who are also in a way doing their part to serve the country. Yung mga simpleng tao lang, hindi naman lahat sila ay, alam mo na, some of them are, doing honorable jobs, doing their part.
Yung second market na yan, kahit pala government employees,
Yeah,
di ba? At
yeah.
napakalaki ng
Malaki na,
government
oo.
service, di
Correct,
ba?
correct. Malaki
So, ibig
na.
sabihin, parang ang niisip ko kanina, maaring ang misconception ng iba, mga veterano lang.
Yeah,
Pero
yun
hindi,
nga eh.
ang laki, di ba? How many branches do you have now, Mike?
60, and then
60.
one branch lang.
So lahat ng government employees doon pwedeng mag-open doon. Pero yun naman, hindi rin mandated sila. Tama?
Hindi rin, hindi rin.
But they can open anytime.
Yeah, except for those whose payroll is with us, so mandated sila.
Okay.
But they can open anytime. What you mentioned was the biggest branding challenge we have. When you say Veterans Bank, iniisip nila, hindi naman ako veterano, so ba't ako mag-open ng account?
Yes.
Veterans Bank, kasi may-ari ng bangko ay veterans.
Yes.
Hindi dahil sila lang yung client namin. Just like before, yung United Coconut Planters Bank, hindi lang naman coconut planters na pwede mag-open ng account doon eh. Pero bakit wala silang
yung
branding
UCPB,
challenge?
correct.
Yeah, that time. Although wala na siya, na-merge na into Land Bank. That kind of challenge has been with us for the longest time.
But I disrupted you earlier.
Yeah.
Parang you said, yung government corporations,
Yeah.
government employees. What are the other markets or segments?
The last one is, of course, the community around us.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the natural market of our branches. So those are I think we're happy with that. That's already a challenge in itself.
Okay. You also touched this earlier, Mike. How do you balance modernization with accessibility given that many are intimidated by technology?
Okay.
I already tried withdrawing from your ATM. Okay naman yung
Okay
experience
naman.
ko.
Oh, that's good.
As you mentioned earlier, you don't just have to really focus on customer-facing digitalization, but you have to do it internally. So,
Yeah.
what's your plan maybe on your modernization to make sure that, you know, the Veterans Bank would be really at par, you know, with the other banks that are available in the market?
I think it's the older segment that has challenges in terms of going to digital. The younger ones have no problem. I think they're too aggressive, in fact. The older ones are more cautious. So when you look at data Philippines-wide and bank-wide, the fraud has moved from a physical level to a digital level. So there's a lot of scams going on, a lot of phishing, a lot of people trying to get into our accounts. I think that's fairly protected, no? But the problem is, just like the ATM, you need two things to access your funds, diba, in an ATM. The card itself and then your PIN number.
Yeah.
Without any of those, you cannot, usually you cannot access. So the same with your digital banking. Without the app and without the PIN or the OTP or the facial recognition, you cannot access your funds or transfer your funds. So what the fraudsters will do is try to get those information from you. The OTP, your digital signature, all those other data items, data points that they need to access your account. So it's not actually the banks being secure. It's the, kumbaga, yung susi ng bahay. Kumbaga, secure na yung bahay kung nasaan yung pera. Pero yung critical doon, gagawin ng mga fraudster, yung susi. Ano yung susi? Try nila hanapin yung OTP, lulukoyin ka nila, sabihin nila kami yung bangko mo, we need your bank data, your account number. Pag nabigay mo yung information na yun, doon nagkaka-risk ka ngayon, tumataas. And unfortunately, this is Philippine data. Ang na-fall into the fraud is the younger ones. Kasi mas malakas loob nila eh. Mga Gen Z. These guys were born in,
they're digital natives.
Correct.
Diba?
So they were born with a tablet already. So parang sa kanila, parang wala. Unlike tayo na, aminin natin, ako Gen X ako. Teka muna, check ko muna ako.
Sige, puntahan ko na lang. O kaya tawag ka na lang.
Or magta-transfer ako, 100 muna. Kahit mawala, okay lang. Di ba yung mga So anyway, yung Gen Z, yung mas maraming Gen Z and the younger millennials, sila yung nabibiktima. Kasi mas malakas loob nila eh. And then,
baliktad pala yung niisip ko. Kasi parang ang niisip ko, parang baka mas nagdo-double time kayo sa pag-i-educate ng market nyo. Kasi they're maybe a little older. But this time, on the contrary, it's the younger ones who are easily frauded.
However, that being said, nangyayari kasi the older ones, anak,
sila.
So sila ngayon yung...
that sounds very familiar.
Malakas loob, diba? So yung anak, yung anak medyo malakas loob kasi digital native yan. Doon nagkaka-problem yung fraud.
I see.
So we have to educate pa rin. The basic lang naman is the bank will never ask for your information. We have it already. We will never ask for your information. Number two, hindi kami nagbibigay ng link. Never kami nagbibigay ng link. So oras na yung banko mo nagpadala ng link, kahit na nakalagay pa yung name niya sa SMS message, hindi totoo yan. Bawal actually, by law. Bawal mo padala ng link ang banko. So, those two lang. And many people don't know that.
Pakinggan po natin, bawal magpadala ang bangko by law ng link. So, if you received a text message that has a link in it informing you or asking you to click that link, don't click it. Kasi once you click it, somehow they get your data already. It could be your birthday, it could be your name, your address, whatever.
Kasi pag click mo ng link, hihingi yun eh. Ano nga yung account name nyo? So bibigay mo.
Yes.
Ano yung birthday mo? Bibigay mo. So yun na, nabigay mo na.
Okay.
So yun yung danger doon.
Okay. Now, Mike, maybe you can comment on this. There is the recent acquisition of 𝗷𝗶𝗶𝗏 Savings. Will it impact the bank now that the Philippine Competition Commission has given the go signal?
Yeah, that was a decision made by the bank to acquire 𝗷𝗶𝗏 Savings, and we're just waiting for regulatory approvals, meaning BSP and SEC. What will happen is, I think 𝗷𝗶𝗏 will retain its brand and its identity and its bank, because the model itself of the thrift bank of 𝗷𝗶𝗏 Savings is actually doing very well. So why change? Yeah, why change if it's doing very well? And it's located in the secondary markets, meaning ito yung mga hindi sa mga central locations in the geographically, but these are on the outskirts. And their target markets are also mga teachers, mga SMEs. So maganda, it's a good business model. So why change it if it's doing money?
But how will it benefit naman?
Well, as an owner, syempre, you get dividends. So that's where we come in. We may be able to convert some of them into Veterans Bank, but that will depend on a business decision. For the veterans, for the stakeholders, it means more branches to serve you. That will mean about almost double ng branch network namin. And ang maganda, when I check the locations, complementing talaga. Halos walang duplication ng ano.
Wow, that's good.
Ang ganda eh.
So
Parang
kung
sinadya
nasan
eh.
kayo, kung nasan kayo, wala sila.
Yeah.
Kung ando naman sila, wala kayo.
Yes.
You're in all those areas already.
Yes. So
And when you said outskirts, these are more on the rural areas, provinces.
So, kunyari, for example, the regional town, let's say in Ilocos is Lawag, for example. So, there's a town down south called Batak. So, meron silang branch doon. Kami, Lawag, sila Batak. So, parang, it's yung secondary city or town, doon sila nakalocate.
So, kung 60 ang branches nyo ngayon, ilan sila?
I think 60 rin eh.
Oh, doble ka talaga.
Doble, yeah.
Diba?
Pero yun, we'll retain most of it as 𝗂𝗶𝗴𝗏 savings pa rin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Pero in terms of declaration ng financials, parang ganun, isa na yon or
No, separate pa rin siya.
Separate pa rin.
So that's its own FS, its own compliance, its own reporting, its own profits, its own so on and so forth. Except that the bank owns it 97% owned by Veterans Bank.
Wow. Wow, congratulations. Now, this one is very exciting. The bank posted strong financial growth in 2024-2025. How do you sustain profitability while honoring a social mandate? Maybe if you can give us updates on your assets, deposits, your strong loan portfolio.
I think the net income targeted for the end of the year is record-breaking. I think we're at 1.1 billion already. So that's a net income that we've never had before. In terms of size, we're
what were the factors that contributed to that revenue?
We had a big capital infusion earlier this year. As I said, we had a capital raising because of the new charter. So with the infusion of the new capital, there's a lot of things we can do more.
And the capitalization was?
Kasi the requirement for a commercial bank is 10 billion. So we reached that requirement. And we're now looking for the next mark, which is 15 billion. So we're looking at that as well. We're already talking to some investors.
Pero ano ang classification nyo? Commercial pa rin?
Commercial pa rin.
But at 15, yun na yung maximum ng commercial o mas mataas pa?
Well, I think 100 B yata yung ano.
So after commercial bank, universal na?
Yeah, universal.
I see.
So, we're at record-breaking assets, highest ever. I think we're at 90 already, in terms of 90 billion in terms of assets. Income is at 1.1 B. In terms of loans, we're also, doon medyo naglalag. But deposits is not a problem. I think this is common for all banks. We have a lot of deposits, but kulang sa lending. So, ang banks kasi basically ano lang naman yan eh. We get deposits, we lend it out, and then earn from the spread, so to speak. So, yun ang basic model ng banko. So, deposits walang problema. Lending, yun ang challenge. How do you push that funds to generate more income for you?
Pero what's the outlook for lending?
In the Philippines, mataas yung propensity ng mga tao mag-car loan ngayon. Kasi may 13th month, so yun yung pan-down niya. So may propensity to take a car loan ngayong December. January naman up to April, housing naman. Una yung panahon, kasi it's conducive for construction ng bahay, repairs ng bahay. And then also, January, parang may fresh outlook. Parang gusto ko na magsarili or gusto ko na ng bagong house or condo unit. So, meron ganun. So, normally, January to April is the highest in terms of housing. So, yun ang tinitingnan namin.
Pero lahat yon meron ang Veterans Bank.
Yeah. Oo.
So sa lahat ng mga nanonood ngayon, okay, alam nyo na. Later on, we will give your contact details and where can they find you?
Those are the consumer loans. Pension naman normally goes up around enrollment time. Normally, yun ang mga peak seasons ng mga pension and consumer loans. In terms of outlook, kasi the interest rate is going down, which is good for the borrowers, not good for us because the spreads are thinner, meaning lower yung income na ma-generate. But it's good for the borrowers because in a lower interest regime, credit is more affordable, meaning if you take out a loan for your house or your car, the monthly amortization will be more affordable. So that's something to take advantage of because you never know what might happen. All this will slide through by next year and things will start picking up again. So yun lang naman yung, I think everybody wants that now we can move forward. Of course, those answerable should be answerable, but as an economy, we should move forward. And business as usual sana.
Oo. What is the bank doing to make itself relevant to millennials and Gen Z descendants of veterans. Actually, hindi lang veterans. Kasi di ba, millennials, Gen Zs, kahit na hindi ka pamilya ng veterano, pwede kang gumamit, pumunta sa any branch ng Veterans Bank, correct?
Yes, correct.
So, what makes it relevant, or what are your plans to make it more relatable and relevant to the younger market?
We're actually going through a rebranding exercise now. So we hired a good firm to do that for us. And hopefully you'll see the changes by second quarter. That's one. No?
Will you change the name?
No, we can't.
Okay, sige. Well, rebranding, but in terms lang of marketing communication.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not just our logo, but it's also our branches look, our branches feel. As I mentioned earlier, parang we want it to be a one-stop shop, meaning you can do your online transactions there. We have tablets there to do your transactions.
Yeah.
If you want to apply for an auto loan or housing loan, it's there already. You can apply online. We have a tablet or a gadget for you where you can apply. We want it paperless kasi we want to support the Sustainable Development Goals. In other words, wala kang fill up na forms anymore. No? We want it to be seamless as much as possible. Whatever the interest of the client, whether it's investments or loans, we have it in our branches. Having it digital really help a lot, no? Because kumbaga ma-access niya lahat. I think I go back to what I mentioned earlier that hindi kami bank or korporasyon na pag kumita kami, yayaman yung mga may-ari namin. We were created for a purpose to support the veterans. And when I say veterans, kasi may mga veterans na mayayaman, merong veterans na, karamihan ng veterans, mga mahihirap na tao, ordinaryong tao lang. So yun yung tinutulungan namin. Ngayon, dahil karamihan ng World War II ay wala na, yung mga anak, apo na lang, and even yung mga apo sa tuhod, yun naman ang tinutulungan natin. How do we help them? Health needs, yung mga kailangan nila. And then also yung legacy ng ating mga veterano. We're also doing our part in historical accuracy, making sure that stories of our veterans are told, because if you know your World War II history from the Philippine school, tuturo sa'yo, si MacArthur ang nagpalaya sa atin. But that's not true. Because actually the Filipino veterans, without the Filipino veterans, MacArthur could not have returned. Without the Filipino veterans, MacArthur would not have been successful. It was really the Filipinos who liberated the country. MacArthur, yes, led it, but it was the people at the ground who did the jobs, and they died in the process. The families of those people, these were, yung nga, as I said, mga ordinaryong tao lang to eh. After the war, balik na naman sila sa
Having goosebumps,
so yung mga to, yung mga anak nila, yun naman tinutulungan natin. Marami kaming plano, scholarships, but we have to be a good bank for our clients first. Once our clients are happy, we can generate profits, then we can look at how we can help the veterans' families, which, by the way, we are in touch with. So marami ding mga tao all over the country na hindi nila alam na anak sila ng, or apo sila ng veterano. I've met a lot of people na tinanong sa akin, ito bang lolo ko nasa, kasi may listahan kami. Sabi ko, check ko. So pag check ko, nandun yung lolo mo. May dugong bayani pala ako. Yan tawag namin eh. May dugong bayani ka pala. So, naging proud sila.
I think that could be relatable to the Gen Z.
Yes, yeah.
You know, Mike, this is something really very exciting. You are making Veterans Bank very young and exciting, and we hope to know more about it in the coming months. So finally, what message do you want to give to Filipinos? Hindi lang mga relatives ng heroes, hindi lang yung mga veterano, retirees, government office workers, but sa lahat na, for them to be financially inclusive.
When you bank with Veterans Bank, you're getting the best possible services, and it's the most inclusive. We have the lowest. For 1,000, you can open an ATM account, passbook account. And then for 5,000, you get your own checking account. No? Of course, there are certain other requirements. In other words, it's easy to open an account with Philippine Veterans Bank. As you bank with Philippine Veterans Bank, you're not just helping the employees, the stockholders, but you're also helping a whole segment of the Filipino people whose families or ancestors already helped free our country. I tell this to our employees when we do an orientation. When you bank with Philippine Veterans Bank, you're not making a certain individual, a certain family richer. You're actually helping the descendants who are ordinary Filipinos, helping them out in their lives. So you're doing something for a purpose. You're not just banking for yourself or for the people who own the bank, but you're banking with a purpose. So that's our call to the people today.
Wow, what a great way to end this conversation. But how will they find you? Where will they find you if they want to open an account or have loans with Philippine Veterans Bank?
We have a Facebook account. We're Philippine Veterans Bank. We just opened our TikTok account, so we're
That's
there
good.
also.
Wow.
And then,
Getting younger.
Of course, our website, www.veteransbank.com.ph. And then our contact center is open 24/7. So that's 24 hours. That's 24/7. Call us anytime. You'll be happy to answer your questions. Visit any of our 61 branches, soon to be 100 branches in the near future. Anytime, anywhere, and we'll be happy to serve you. Thank you very much.
Malamang nag-resign ka.
Paano mo nalaman? Ang career woman na si Lotlot, makaka-experience ng malaking pagbabago at kawalan.
Kailangan mong maging masaya para sa akin. Mag-enjoy ka sa buhay. Huwag kang mag-aksaya ng oras.
Ang bagong C-drama na magdadala sa inyo ng saya at healing. Meet Yourself, weeknight 7:30 p.m. dito lang sa Net25.
Let's get together. Sa Net25. Sa Net25.
Sa dami ng usap-usapan, alin ba ang dapat paniwalaan?
Magandang umaga, Pilipinas! Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Siyempre po, worldwide.
Balitang may basehan, komentaryong may laman. Kasama sina 𝗷𝗶𝗴𝗏 at Nelson Lubao.
Tuloy ng paglilingkod bayan.
Balita, komentaryo, totoo. 100%. Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 5 ng umaga, dito lang sa Net25.
Let's get together. Sa Net25. Sa Net25.
Every morning is a new story with Kada Umaga.
Your favorite morning show, ito po ang Kada Umaga!
Surprise performances, latest trends, expert hacks, and exciting games. Be ready to be part of the Kada Squad and enjoy your morning with Diana, Emma, and Pia. Kada Umaga, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, only on Net25.
Let's get together. Sa Net25. Sa Net25.
Hi, I'm Art.
And I'm PJ.
Tara, samahan niyo kami.
Listen to our school's podcast.
At pag-usapan natin ang mga issues na mahalaga para sa ating mga teenagers.
Let's create art together in... Dito lang sa Net25.
Let's get together. Sa Net25. Sa Net25.
And our buzzword of the week is Government Depository Bank. It is a financial institution authorized by government to hold its funds. A bank meant for veterans and our nation's heroes is a living memorial, preserving the sacrifices of those who fought for the freedoms we now enjoy. In an age where digital banking, fintech, and fast-paced transactions dominate, the relevance of a mission-driven bank becomes even more important to maintain. May we continue to build a future worthy of the heroes who built this bank, one generation at a time. Maraming salamat, Sir Mike. Thank you, Ms. Bambi. Maraming salamat sa ating mga manonood sa isang oras na pagsama ninyo sa amin upang tunghayan ang isang makabuluhang usapan ukol sa negosyo dito lang sa Open for Business. Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan nyo kaming muli dito sa Open for Business. Catch us too on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe on our social media page at Net25 TV. We will bring you more insights from industry experts, thought leaders, CEOs, and featured SMEs. Together, let us help encourage business development in the Philippines, sharpen your business acumen, feel the pulse, and set the trend for as long as you're informed and open for business. Ito po si 𝗕𝗏 𝗏𝗏 Marami pong salamat.